Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Today, we are continuing the trial. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not really sure what to say. Iris, we only have 20 minutes. There are two things which I need to ask you before we reconvene. Alright, I'll help you any way I can. First, about that night, you really didn't go to the Inner Temple, correct? The last witness claims to have met and talked with you in the training hall. Either you or Sister Bikini is lying. Mr. Edgeworth, it is just as I said yesterday. Until the incident occurred, I was in my own room in Hazakura Temple. Very well. The second thing, then. That night, the temple snowmobile was used in between the times Sister Bikini returned to the main hall and when she bore witness to the murder. Sometime between 10:30 and 11 p.m. that night. Were you the one who used the snowmobile? There's only one key for the snowmobile. The only person who could have used it was me. So it was you. But why? What made you go out to Dusky Bridge? I'm sorry, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop keeping secrets, girl. I need to... Oh, you have 5 locks. Iris. I can't tell you about that yet. Yet? Not until her safety is confirmed. Are you talking about Pearl? The safety of the Acolyte. Oh, Maya? The Acolyte, huh? She must be talking about Maya. Interesting? Iris, look me in the eye and tell me the truth. Did you kill Elise Denim? No matter who or what may come, I could never take a life. As I thought, no psycho-locks. Very well. It is my job to get to the truth. You'll discover this for yourself soon enough. Court will now reconvene. Ms. Von Karma, where is the witness? During the break, a man was detained for suspicious behavior in the gallery. Suspicious behavior? He was sketching something, very intensely. Dare I ask what the witness was sketching while he was detained? He drew a terrifying woman, armed with a demonic face and a vicious whip. I can only presume that his intention was to capture you. Anyway, it's time to drag this pathetic excuse for an artist before the court. Loris Denim, I hope you're ready. Get in here. It would seem that whip is going to see plenty more use today. Ouch! Your sketch isn't in contempt of this court. Hey, I was just artistically rendering. Ouch! You indeed tried to run from the bailiff who was trying to hand you your subpoena, correct? Well, look, I'm nothing but a fledgling artist trading out in the mountains. I'm only down here in the city because I ran out of green paint. Well, to use a technical term for the color, Viridian. Is Viridian green? Is Viridian green? I thought it was like a blue color. Viridian. Forest? No. Oh, it is green. Oh, it's like a dark green. I mean, I guess that's why it's called Viridian Forest, huh? Green Forest. Larry, this isn't an art store, now is it? I know, I graduated junior high, okay? Look, art is all about working in the fields, isn't it? Working in the fields? I presume he wanted to say field work. I hope. That's it. Thanks, buddy. It's kind of sad that I was able to understand his mangled train wreck of a sentence. I just happened to stop in here and found a wonderful new model. So see, I've got nothing to do with this trial, at all. I expect all your faces to be red when you realize this mistake. Bright red. Or to use a technical term, Crimson Lake. Ouch! Stop your pathetic blabbing and testify like a man. Refrain from whipping me, Miss Von Karma. Cross-whipping is as bad as cross-checking. Witness, that was all your fault. Testify now. This is too much for me. I was at that lodge out in the mountains looking up at the stars that night. I walked to the bridge a number of times, but I didn't see a snowmobile. I didn't see anyone at the bridge that night either. The girl I was waiting for didn't show up. My teacher died on me. I'm all alone now. Aren't I edgy? Witness, please refrain from talking directly to the lawyers during your testimony. I'm just a nobody. Nothing but a small, worthless man, aren't I? Why wasn't I asked for my name and occupation, or anything else? Mr. Edgeworth, this man seems to have quite a severe inferiority complex. He's recently been the cause of numerous incidents. I think he's finally realized for himself just how much of a nuisance he has been to other people. Yeah, that's right. I'm behind everything, every case. Watch out, okay? Just touching me will make you eternally unhappy. Well then, let us proceed with the cross-examination. With no touching, thank you. We can delve into other details at a later time. Sit at the lodge in the mountains, look up the stars. Hold it. Whatever's the matter, Mr. Edgeworth? The one single statement is so full of contradictions. For a moment there, I thought I was going to collapse. So, witness, any idea as to where these contradictions in your testimony lie? Depending on your answer, I may stay my whip. Okay, give me a minute. Well, it was snowing that night, so I couldn't possibly have seen the stars. That rundown shack is hardly a lodge, is it? And even if the stars could be seen, it isn't like I was there to look at them, right? See? You can do it if you try. Ouch! There's only one issue here. But you saw a dusky bridge. You walked to the bridge a number of times. A number of times? How many? Maybe 5 times? I went once every 20 minutes. Which means you spent almost 2 hours at Heavenly Hall that night. You bet. Real love is about waiting with your heart in your hands. Love, you say? It was this man's intention to summon the defendant to the small shack, using this blackmail letter. Blackmail? No, that was simply a product of overflowing love. Ah! You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, inviting wuss of a witness. So, what did you see? I hope for your sake you saw a snowmobile. You huffy, puffy, loosey-goosey excuse for a whimpering, whining wuss of a witness. Well, you see, being called those names didn't seem to bother him at all. You didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, you really didn't see it. Hey, no need to hit your desk. I can hear you. I didn't see it. I didn't see a snowmobile. Larry, say snowmobile for me, please. Snowmobile? If you truly have nothing to hide, then why are you stammering like you just flew over a cuckoo's nest? Shut up! What is this? I don't know, don't ask me. Seems that I'll need to start from a more obvious contradiction. I'm going to strike the blow that will finally get him to spill the beans. Didn't see anyone at the bridge that night. You didn't meet anyone. That's right, because I've got nothing to do with this. And I'm just here to buy some Viridian paint, okay? Come on, I expect you to see those Crimson Lake faces, now! It would appear that simply pressing him isn't going to be enough, Mr. Edgeworth. Indeed. Seems that he's going to claim to have nothing to do with this to the end. I don't want this guy to cost us any more time. I need to slice through his obvious contradictions and keep things moving along. Okay. You didn't see a snowmobile, is that so? Oh, are those Larry's footprints? No. No, because you walked to the bridge, not to the main hall. I didn't see anyone that night either. Objection. Larry Butts, I can understand why you might want to throw your old life away. You're pretty pathetic, and you cause all sorts of trouble. I'm sorry! But, having realized just now how much of a nuisance you've been, that could be considered a step in the right direction. Edgy, are you trying to console me? It certainly doesn't sound that way to me. However, I cannot forgive you for simply turning away from the incidents you create. You're totally pinning this on me! Now then, let us talk about that night of the murder. Sister Bikini, after seeing the murder take place, asked Phoenix Wright to report it. Thus, he headed for the public phone by the bridge. There, he happened across a certain nefarious individual. You, Larry Butts. That's right, me in the flesh. Listen carefully, witness. It doesn't matter if you change your name. So long as you remain pretty pathetic, you will continue to cause these incidents. That reality will not change. But, what do you want me to do then? Larry, what you need to change is your inner self. But for now, what you saw that night, testifying truthfully about this one issue is all I need from you. Edgy? I think I've finally woken up. Well, I guess I could still be sleeping. But anyway, I'll do it. I'll testify. Well, I'm not sure how this will go especially well. I'll ask again then, witness. What did you see on the night of the murder? What I saw part 2. Okay, went to the shack at around... I went to the shack around 9, so it would have been about 10:30 p.m. I was lying under my bed when a white flash almost blinded me. I looked out the window, and Dusky Bridge was on fire. There was still some thunder, but I went right away to check it out. That's when I ran into Nick. You certainly saw quite a lot, didn't you? So, what happened to the bridge after it caught on fire? It was like me after a 3-day stint chasing a girl. It totally burnt out. Like, almost totally gone. I mean, trying to cross the burning remains was what caused Nick to fall. What did you say? Oh, don't worry. It's nothing life-threatening. He just caught a cold. I never know with that man if he should be called lucky or unlucky. Now, Mr. Edgeworth, please commence your cross-examination. I went to the shack. Oh, it's good at 10:30. What did you do out there in the cold for like an hour and a half? Well, if you really must know, I was busy being excited, I guess. Excited? Dare I even ask? I set the meeting time to 10 p.m., right? But I couldn't wait, and I thought she might come early, too. Well, it appears she didn't come at all in the end. Because they never arranged to meet in the first place, did they? Shut up! Don't go picking my fond memories apart. Anyway, I was getting a little worried. I thought maybe Iris had lost her way. So every 20 minutes or so, I went to the bridge. But I didn't see anything particularly suspicious. I didn't have anything else to do, so I went back to the shack to wait for her. You're lightning or you're betting? This light was, of course, lightning! Like, kapow! Like a slap from Naomi, honestly. A big bada boom! Or a little like that. That's more like a punch from Miranda. Witness, did you actually see the lightning hit the bridge? Well, I was a bit startled by the flash of light, so... I looked out by the window and Dusky was on fire. Seeing that, what did you do? What do you think? I was burning up in my heart, from the fire in my heart. I was burning up as well. And that's why you went to take a look at the bridge? Well, to be honest, it was freezing cold, so at first I thought, forget it, I'm not leaving my covers. But it pretty much stopped snowing, so I don't know, changed my mind. I'm not sure I care for the forget it attitude you had at first, witness. There's some thunder. You said right away, but exactly how long after the strike was that? The lightning fell and then the bridge caught on fire. Maybe around 5 minutes? I mean, I suddenly thought, gotta go check this out. How far is this small shack you were in from the bridge? Hold on. Well, it pretty much stopped snowing. I guess about a 5-minute walk. And how did Dusky Bridge look when you got there? Like I had recovered a piece of my childhood. I mean, not even the bonfires kids make during school camping trips can compare. Well, should I press them for a little more info? Might as well. Why didn't you call anyone? Why'd you go to the bridge? Okay, why did you go to the bridge? It's probably more important. So you suddenly thought to check out the bridge. Does this mean that you initially had no intention of doing so? Well, yeah, I guess it does. It was really cold. I didn't really want to go out there. If that's the case, why did you change your mind? I would like to hear your reasoning. In which case, please give a testimony to that effect, witness. My reasoning? Okay, reasoning, is it? I never get a chance to see something big burning. Alright, can I ask you about anything else in this part? Okay, why didn't you call anyone? Larry, let me ask you one thing. What is it, Edgy? What's with the serious face? Why didn't you call anyone? Huh? What do you mean? Normally, when faced with the towering inferno, one would try and tell someone. There is a public phone right by Dusky Bridge, correct? Well, of course I had thought of doing that. So then, let's hear why you didn't. Huh? Yeah, okay. A reason. It isn't that I didn't try to tell anyone. I just didn't have time to, okay? You're up the bridge and Nick showed up less than a minute later. Oh, it changes the end. Okay. You claim to have arrived at the bridge at the same time as Wright. Yeah. I thought I'd better tell someone about this, but then Nick came up yelling about murder. It totally made me forget about the bridge. The fire was pretty much out by then anyway. What's this feeling? I suddenly have a terrible case of unease. It was after contacting the police that Phoenix Wright fell from the bridge, correct? Yeah, that's pretty much it. More or less. He told me about the burning bridge yesterday. There's still something that doesn't quite fit. It looks like, despite his change of heart, Larry still isn't telling us the whole truth. Really? Nick showed up less than a minute later. What time did you say this was? Oops. We did check at around 9, so it would have been 10:30. Lightning struck Dusky Bridge at 10:45. And 30 minutes passed between the fire starting and going out, which would mean it was about 11:15. So now it's up to 10:50. Time 10:11. Let me get the other testimony real quick and press that. So you decided to go and see what was happening. Oh, sorry. That's right. We're talking about a massive suspension bridge burning to high heaven. That's not something you see every day. A real like, really special? Can we really trust a witness who is unable to pronounce spectacle? Life seems to love hitting this poor witness below the belt. Well, my motto is hit life back as hard as I can. I'll give you a few hits too, if you'd like. With my whip. So that wasn't really helpful. Let's get back to the other thing. Yeah, why'd you go to the bridge? So you're saying you met... What? Oh, did I press the wrong one? So you say you met Phoenix as soon as you got there. Less than a minute later. I don't know. Could it be the weather data? Because something about these times aren't adding up in my head. The very existence being a contradiction. I'm not sure if you can grasp this or not. What the hey, Edgy? You make us sound like some sort of alien. But your testimony is conclusively contradictory. The problem here is time. I've never been the best timekeeper, you know. 3 minutes after Billy leaves on foot, you follow him on your bicycle. How long does it take for you to catch up with him? Terrible at those. This is much more simple. You saw the lightning strike Dusky Bridge, and immediately went to see what had happened. Is this correct? Yeah, well, I wasted about 5 minutes first, but more or less. I have the weather data from the night of the murder here. According to this, the lightning fell at 10:45 p.m. You say it takes less than 5 minutes from the shack to Dusky Bridge, meaning you probably got there around 11 p.m. That all sounds right, I guess. And then Nick showed up and did his fallen act. That is impossible. What do you mean? 11 p.m. is when the murder occurred in Hazakura Temple. Thus, Wright was still there in the courtyard. There's no way that Larry could have encountered him at Dusky Bridge at that time. Excuse me, I have an objection. You do? Edgy, how many times do I have to say this? I'm not Larry, I'm Larry's Nip. Yeah. It has not been proven that the murder occurred at 11 p.m. This sister only said around 11. In which case, it could have been earlier than that. Watch your footing there, Miss Franziska von Karma. The slope ahead is slippery. For there is still no way that Wright could have been at Dusky Bridge at 11 p.m. And why not? It is clearly written here in the weather data report. It took around 30 minutes for the bridge to burn out. Therefore, the bridge must have been burning until at least 11:15. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which means, what exactly? Wright did not see the bridge while it was being consumed by the flames at night. In fact, he did not arrive on the scene until after the flames had died down. Larry, you arrived at the bridge at 11 p.m., but Wright did not make it there until at least 11:15. I suggest you stop hiding things and just tell us the whole truth. Now then, what happened during those missing 15 minutes? I feel like I just got brutally woken up by a toilet splashback. I guess I was still sleeping after all. Pinch me. Order. So there was a missing 15 minutes prior to meeting Phoenix Wright. I hardly said as much of a problem. Yeah, not much of a problem at all. Really? The bridge is burning before your eyes, and there's a phone right next to it. Why then did you not report the accident? Yes, witness, why didn't you? Were you there simply to watch the bridge burn? And therein lies the problem. For even after the bridge had burnt out, he was still there. Staring into space, this witness didn't even attempt to fulfill his civic duty. That's what it sounds like. Ah, but this is Larry we were talking about, and even he is incapable of being so stupid. Which means there has to be a reason for his inaction. Edgy, I think it's about time I got serious with you, dude. Just as I thought, you've been playing with us all this time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you everything. Are you sure you want to hear it all? Yes. I may really say it this time. Everything. Didn't say it. Very well. I have a terribly bad feeling about this. However, let's have the witness finally give us the whole truth. Now, for the 15-minute gap, what were you doing, witness? I'm an artist. What do you think I was doing? Sketching in front of the bridge. I whipped it into a frenzy of art. The shock and awe that I was feeling, I transferred it all directly onto the page. Before I realized it, the flames had gone out and then he came running up. I suppose artists can be strange folk. That's right. I'm willing to sacrifice everything in order to draw the perfect sketch. Including the truth from the sounds of it. Mr. Edgeworth, has this removed the last of your doubts? Not at all, Your Honor. One very large doubt still remains. And what would that be? This is a surprisingly believable story, especially considering the source. So why did he think he needed to hide it from us until now? I intend to drag the reason out of him. You'll regret this, Edgy.
Hold it.
Tell us, Larry. My name is Larice, get it right! Mistakes like that are what keep you from being popular with the ladies like I am. Just who exactly are you? I'm Larice Denim, apprentice extraordinaire. That's what he calls himself in any case. Then you are an artist? Of course, I'm an artist, the real thing. Yet again, that's what he calls himself. Name still means nothing. There's only one issue I care to discuss. What were you doing? That is a very big issue indeed. Sketching. Sketching? The burning bridge? The burning bridge and everything that came with it. What? Came with it? You want to hear this from my lips, do you, Edgy? You'll regret this. That sketch of mine is... Franziska, enough. Just take that ridiculous sketch of yours out already, witness. What are you talking about? I don't know what you mean. That does indeed appear to be the fastest solution. I'll leave it to you, Mr. Edgeworth. What should I do? I've got a terrible feeling at the instant the sketch is revealed. The entire world may be changed by what is depicted there. Let's look at it. Larry, I wonder if you could show us your sketch, please. Well, well. Even I couldn't imagine it turned out like this. Imagined what? That Larissa Nim's debut would take place here today, like this. Show it, now. Okay, but steel yourselves. This is the world of Larice Denim. Is that a person? Ah, well, so this is Dusky Bridge, correct? Quite a large bridge, isn't it? Your response, Miss Von Karma? Yes, well, it's a better drawing than I expected. I mean, yeah, it is. Isn't it? Isn't it? I struggled to reproduce those flames. I really did. Yes, I'm sure you did. Ugh, this is going to get ugly. No one has the courage to bring it up, it seems. This mysterious flying object. Larry. What? The burning bridge is fine. But what is that unfortunate-looking figure? Ah, you spotted that? I thought you might. However much I might want to ignore it, I can't. It's Iris, of course. Iris! I wish she'd take better care of herself. We have to plan for her future, you know? What would have happened to her if she had injured herself flying like that? What are you talking about? Larry, please, answer this next question honestly. Okay. Are you really claiming to have seen this? Are you claiming to have seen the silhouette of the defendant? Flying over a bridge that was engulfed in flames? Yep, that's what I saw. That's why I drew it. I'm an artist, a real artist. Are you high? The girl, she's really high up in this picture. What was that for? This isn't all a bad dream. I was hitting on the cheek to test that theory. Please whip your own chick from now on if you wish to test your wild theories. Anyway, no court of law will ever acknowledge that people could fly. Actually, there is a precedent for this. She was flying pretty high, my sweet Iris. She was about 30 feet above the bridge, at least. It was really something to see. This has to be some kind of a mistake. Mr. Edgeworth, please bring the witness back down to Earth. What? Me? The witness is your friend, is he not? Accessory to foolishness, Miles Edgeworth. Let us get back to the cross-examination, by force if necessary. Mr. Edgeworth, I expect you to expose the obvious contradiction here. Yes, Your Honor. Looks like I've got another reason to remember this moron. Well, what did you think of my debut piece? Get that thing away from me. Now, hurry up and cross-examine him. Is this gonna go through the entire cutscene again? Oh, my girlfriend was flying through the sky, almost 30 feet above the bridge. I felt like I might start flying myself. If only you'd be so kind as to fly out of all our lives. Anyway, I completely lost myself when I was drawing this scene. Saw Iris flying in the White Hood. Wait, what? Just where did you see the sight from? Hey, no need to shout. When I was lying in bed in that rundown shack, the crack of the lightning bolt made me realize that the bridge was burning. I just watched it for a while from there, thinking how nicely it was burning. Then after about 5 minutes, I saw it. The defendant is flying. That's right. That's when I decided to go to the bridge. I see. It all makes sense. Aside from the sketch itself. Yes, the sketch doesn't make any sense. I just need to convince the artist that his work is ludicrous. You transferred everything directly onto the page, and that is this sketch here. Yep, sensational, isn't it? Or should that be scandalous? It put my mind at ease anyway. It did. That's right, the reason she didn't come to me, even though I waited for her, was because she was trapped on the other side of the bridge. Could it be that Iris undertook that dangerous, desperate flight in order to reach me? That's gotta be it. Alright, go me. Continue, please. You forgot the passage of time to that extent, did you? Well, once I get caught up in something, I tend to forget everything else. That's true, he's always been that way. I guess he's not lying about that, at least. Phoenix Wright appeared on the scene after 11:15. If he was drawing until then, that would dispel all doubts. Aside from doubts of his humanity, huh? There's a big clue waiting for me in this cross-examination, because there's nothing less than mock the court. But I am sure there's a vital kernel of truth hidden in it somewhere. Her white hood fluttering. She gave it to Phoenix, so you couldn't have seen that. Larry, what did you really see that night? Not that I particularly care. In your position, that's just being irresponsible. I drew exactly what I saw. I'll give you the whole $1 if it's the truth. If that is truly the case, then there's only thing that we can say for certain. And what might that be? That the person who flew over the bridge could not have been the defendant, Iris. What? What do you mean? I don't understand. A foolhardy folly of a foolish statement by an equally foolishly foolhardy fool. How exactly can you make this claim? Tell us, Larry. According to this picture, the individual whom you say you saw wearing a hood, correct? Of course she was. That rundown shack is quite away from the bridge. The hood is what told me that this floating angel was my Iris. The hood is my darling Iris, and Iris is my darling hood. It seems there are bigger fools in this world than that one at the defense's bench. Larry, there's something you need to be made aware of. On the night of the murder, Iris wasn't wearing her hood. She had given it to Wright as a gift. Are you going to change your story now? Perhaps suggest it was Wright who took flight. What are you talking about? I think you understand what I mean just fine. Why did Nick have Iris's hood? What? Edgy, what's going on with Iris and Nick? Why you, Nick, you dog? I do believe that this unbelievably mysterious sketch is destined to disappear, discredited and discarded, straight into the garbage. Ha! Ha ha ha! Ah! What is it now, Witness? It feels like I've been waiting 25 years for this very day to come. Edgy! Today's the day I get to completely stupefy you. What? What is the meaning of your outburst, Witness? I hate to have to do this, but I have some definitive evidence. Definitive evidence? Iris did indeed come flying over the burning bridge. And I, Luri's Denim, shall prove it. Didn't expect to ask us again, but we shall be needing your testimony only once again. Tell us anything you know concerning the defendant as depicted in this sketch. And show us your evidence that this nightmare is actually reality. Okay, I hope you're ready, Edgy. Because I'm gonna feed you a whopping serving of pain. You can try your best. You've been serving this whopping serving of pain this whole time. Trust me. Alright, let's see what kind of crackpot theory he's got now. When I reached Dusky Bridge, he was already gone. I was so worried, so I frantically searched all over for her. That led me to finding a beautiful crystal sphere, half buried in the snow. Ah, that's from Elise's staff. You should know that. I'm sure that Iris was simply wearing a spare hood. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. I know exactly what it is, but I'm still gonna press you on everything anyway. This one! Pretty, isn't it? But finders keepers. It's that sphere. Where did you find it? Let me see. Around here somewhere? Looks about right. And it was half buried in the snow. It had pretty much stopped snowing by then. But there was still some falling as I walked to the bridge. The court accepts this crystal sphere. That's mine, okay? I want it back afterward. There's something on it. Oh my, it's blood. What? Blood? You ready, Edgy? But tomorrow morning you'll be calling me Master Larry. Yeah, I like the sound of that. No one's gonna push me around anymore. Didn't you want to be called Luri's Denim only a few minutes ago? Hold it. So, you went to the burning bridge. That's right, to meet Iris. She actually flew to get to me. The least I could do was meet her halfway. But the defendant was not at the bridge when you got there, what you say? I guess she went back to Hasakura Temple. She's a girl after all. She must have wanted to look her best. It must be lovely to live in the fantasy land of Larry's mind. Actually, it's so depressing that I can't even work up the energy to point. So, what do you next? Oh, why'd I go my Larry voice? So, you searched all over for her. She was flying pretty high, you know. I thought maybe she slipped out on her landing and got hurt. Hey, it was more than possible. Also, when I headed out to the shack the first time, I was snacking on a banana. I was pretty sure I threw the peel away somewhere around there, so, you know. Can one guy really be this stupid? So, did you find any signs of her so-called landing? I don't really remember. I kept on falling over myself and kind of lost it for a while there. You fell over yourself? Were you slipping on your banana peels? Yeah, the snow was deep and there was even a banana peel out there. Yep, there's Stupid, and then there's Larry Butts. The short of it is that you didn't find any signs of her landing, correct? And what happened next? Half buried. It was sitting in the snow with a little gathered on top of it. It was very hard to spot, actually. I mean, it was dark out, too. I'm impressed. You did well to find it. No matter what you may think when you look at me, I'm a pro, a genius security guard. I used a pen light I borrowed from my company to help in my search. And it sparkled really brightly as if it was saying, "Here I am," to me. You don't still work there, though, do you? It does indeed look very much like the Crystal Sphere Virus's hood. But need I remind you that she was not wearing her hood that night. Each nun is assigned their own hood, and they are assigned only one. I don't know anything about that, okay? And ours is special, alright, dude? Even if she did steal a spare hood, I'll forgive her. This is getting us nowhere. Our destination for the day, it seems. However, this crystal sphere is found near the bridge. That is a fact. If it didn't come from the hood, where could it have come from? That is the question I aim to answer. After all, no one else could have lost a crystal sphere that night. So do I present the staff or Elise's picture? Let me confirm this one last time, Larry. The reasons you thought that this was Iris are the hood and this crystal sphere, correct? That's right, my gut is never wrong. I met that old bikini the next morning, and her crystal sphere was still there, safe and sound. Indeed. She was wearing it in this very room earlier today. This case isn't going to end without a fight. Exposing the obvious contradictions in this testimony will be easy, but I fear that all that awaits her further mysteries. Oh, God. Wrong button. I guess I'll try the picture first because it shows it. Or, no, let's do the staff. Yeah, let's do the staff. Both might have worked, but... Larry, that night, there was someone who lost a crystal sphere. There was? Who? Who was wearing this? Who was this stupid idiot? Miss Elise Denim, the mentor to a stupid idiot. Is the victim. I have a photo of her here. And on the end of her staff, you can see a familiar-looking crystal sphere. Hey! That's my photograph! Give it back! A crystal sphere like that is quite easy to find. I have one just like it on my brooch. Look, nothing alike! In any case, please take a look at this. This is the victim's staff found at the scene of the crime. Oh, the crystal sphere, it's gone! What? 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 Sorry, I can't get my voice up high. I literally just woke up and started recording. What does this mean? If anyone jumped or flew across the bridge that night, it certainly was not Iris. After all, she was not wearing her hood. More importantly, the crystal sphere found at the landing site was not hers either. That means the one who flew and dropped the sphere was the victim, Miss Elise Denim? Can't be. She was at the courtyard. A fool alongside another fool on a fool's errand to reach a foolish conclusion. First of all, this sketch, which I prefer to call a scribble, is ridiculous. People cannot fly. Thus, it is rejected. You can't do that. I saw it with my own two eyes. In this crystal sphere. This is nothing more than a red herring. You honestly believe that? Give it some thought, and I'm sure you'll realize it as well, Miles Edgeworth. Elise Denim was in her room on the night of the murder. There was no reason for her to go to Dusky Bridge. Therefore, this sphere cannot be related to this case. That is all. Miss Franziska von Karma. The only people who will accept that explanation are scatterbrains and clowns. Why are you pointing at me? The victim's crystal sphere was nowhere near the bridge on the night of the murder. You'd expect us to believe that it has nothing to do with this case? Is that crystal sphere? It was probably thrown away at the bridge after the murder. After the murder? There is blood on the crystal sphere, isn't there? They naturally suggest that it was thrown away after the murder took place. The killer placed it there to throw the investigation off the scent, which is the exact same reason that he drew this ridiculous sketch. What? You mean I'm the killer? No way! All joking aside, just when did this crystal sphere appear near the foot of the bridge? Unless this can be proven in some way, I refuse to believe this is related to the case. She makes a valid point. There's no evidence that at least a Nim left Hazakura Temple that night. However, if somehow this crystal sphere can be proven to have been dropped before the victim was killed, this case is going to transform into something else entirely. But, like, do we have proof that she left? Oh, I can't open my court record. Your response, Mr. Edgeworth. I want your final opinion on the disposition of this crystal sphere. If it is not related to the case, then this witness who you called will have to be nothing more than a monumental waste of time. Oh, trust me. He always has been. I don't know. Oh, wait, she did leave at around that time to look for Pearl, right? I don't know why there'd be blood on it, but she did leave to look for Pearl. Prepare yourself for some very appropriate punishment, Miles Edgeworth. Can I prove it? Can I prove that the crystal sphere was dropped before the murder took place? I don't know. We know that she left, at least, but we can't prove that it was dropped beforehand. Can we? I can? Can I prove it? That isn't the issue. To simply prove it. That's the only option. That's what he'd do. That's the way Phoenix Wright would do this. Your Honor, allow me to prove something to you. I will prove that this crystal sphere is a vital link to solving this case. You will do what? That look in your eyes. So you remind me of Phoenix Wright when he is cornered. That should come as no surprise. Because right now, I am Phoenix Wright, and I am indeed cornered. I order you to present your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Evidence that proves that the crystal sphere was indeed dropped before the murder. Good question. I got nothing. Do we present Pearl? Because she was looking for Pearl, maybe she dropped it while she was looking? That doesn't explain the blood. But because I'm not seeing anything else. Your response based on karma is wrong. Yeah. Okay, so there's actual one more chance. The time of the murder and when the crystal sphere was dropped. I need to find proof that the latter happened first. I don't know how to prove such a thing, though. Could it? No. Oh, he said there was snow on top of it, right? Oh, there was snow on top of the ball. So he couldn't have dropped it. It's wrong? But if she was killed after the snow stopped... Is it this picture because the tracks go through the footprints? We don't know if those are Elise's footprints, though. But I can try it? No. I'm throwing things at the wall right now because I've got no idea. I'm gonna reload. Oh, I was about to save. It has her fingerprints on it. Doesn't mean much. I don't think any of this is going to help. Drop before the murder. I don't... I mean, the fact that she doesn't have it here? No, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I mean, at this point, I feel like I'd have to do everything until I find it, because I'm not getting it. This crystal sphere was half buried in the snow, correct? Yeah, that's what I said earlier. What do you mean? That's right, if it hadn't stopped snowing, that would have been game over. The snow would have totally covered it. That's all I needed to hear from you, Larry. Your testimony makes one thing quite clear. What? When the crystal sphere was dropped, it was snowing, even if it was ever so slightly. Snowing? On the other hand, let us look at the scene of the murder. As proven earlier today, there was no snow on the victim's body. Ah! Therefore, the crystal sphere must have been dropped before the murder. What? Order, order, order. On the night of the murder, the victim did indeed go to Dusky Bridge. And there, something occurred that caused the staff's crystal sphere to come loose. What could that have been? This sphere. There is some blood on it, isn't there? Allow me to raise a certain possibility at this junction. The real crime scene was near the foot of Dusky Bridge. The murder didn't take place in the Hazakura Temple courtyard? Only a fool would suggest such a foolish piece of absolute foolishness. Just who is the fool? And which part is so foolish, Miss Von Karma? Have you been paying any attention this whole time, Miles Edgeworth? The sister saw everything. She saw the victim being killed by the defendant in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. No, she didn't. That's not exactly true, now is it? To put it more precisely, what she saw was the murder weapon being removed from the victim's body. That's the same thing. No, it isn't. You said it yourself. Very little blood is actually lost. At the moment of the blade's insertion, if you want to talk about when the most blood would be lost from a body, does that be when the blade is removed? If that statement is the truth, then Dusky Bridge could very easily be the scene of the murder. The murder weapon was not removed. Thus, there was no bleeding. You are forgetting one vital thing, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. At least Nim's body was found in Hazakura Temple. On foot, it takes 15 minutes to travel from Dusky Bridge to Hazakura Temple. You mean to suggest someone carried the body all that way? I've made it this far. The only place to take this is to the end. I just need to prove that my version of events is perfectly plausible. Now, if the defense is ready, the court would like to have an explanation. Please show us the method by which the victim's body was carried to Hazakura Temple. Ooh, could it be the snowmobile? On that snowy night, there is one way that a body could have been moved. The snowmobile. As we know, the snowmobile was used that night. It was explained as having been used to dispose of the murder weapon, but it could also have been used to carry a body. So is that what Iris is doing? Order, order. Yeah. This is a completely unacceptable, Miles Edgeworth. You've dug yourself into your own grave. What do you mean? The only one who could have used the snowmobile was the defendant. She's the one who moves the body, and that puts the final nail in your coffin. Heh. You're too late, Franziska von Karma. And in fact, the defense has proven something else entirely. We've shown that this case requires further investigation. What? Where was the victim, Elisa Nim, really killed? If her body was moved, whatever for? And finally, just what does this image mean? Do you even need to think about that? Such creature would never see the truth, let alone describe it. This witness certainly sits in one of the lowest possible branches of humanity. However, he would never utter a lie that could hurt a girl with whom he is enamored. He drew this, so it is something that actually happened. The defense stands firm on this point. Edgy! Thank you! That settles it then. I cannot give a verdict under these circumstances. Ugh. Right. I seem to have fulfilled my part in this. It is just as I thought. Franziska von Karma, you make a wonderful partner. Excuse me? There is one reason, and one alone, for me being here. To expose the darkness lurking in this case, and then pass it on to Wright. Really? That's what this is all about? You could have just told me that from the very beginning. Then I wouldn't have had Frenzy whipping me all... Miles Edgeworth, I don't care about what you were here to do. This was my chance to finally grind you under my heel. A shame that your chance seems to have slipped you by. What a shame, Frenzy! This is all your fault. Such a terrible witness. You are all... Okay, I missed it. I demand satisfaction. Larry died. I cannot believe that the witness's testimony relates to an actual event. However, there has to be some sort of answer for the questions it raises. Have his words here today been the truth or lies? Next time we gather in this courtroom, those are the matters that shall be addressed. I'm counting on thorough investigations by both the defense and the prosecution. And with this, the rest is up to you, Wright? So we're back to playing as Phoenix. Maybe not during the investigation, but during the court, at least. Well, we'll see what this investigation has to do for us next time. Sorry if my commentary wasn't all the way there this episode. Like I said earlier in the episode, I literally woke up and started recording. So, I'm not completely awake. But, I am going to do this investigation later on today. So yeah. But that'll be tomorrow for you guys. So chat. Oh my god, I went streamer mode again. I did that when I was recording Persona 3 earlier as well. What is wrong with me? That's it for the episode. Thanks for watching. If you like what you talk or subscribe button down below, don't forget to check out my channel, and if you're interested in my live on Twitch, or sometimes I stream live, you can check out that link down in the description below. Once again, thanks for watching, and I will catch all of you in the next one. So, take care.